Alex, do you want canned cranberry sauce or should we make it ourselves?
That's my mom. She didn't know about Instacart's family carts, so...
Want to make pecan pie this year, yes or no? Oh, and how many boxes of stuffing?
So I told her we could just share a family cart and add all our holiday favorites to the same order without losing our voices or our sanity. It's so much better.
Alex, can you get my holiday village out of the attic?
Baby steps, Alex. Baby steps. Shop Instacart this holiday season and enjoy free delivery on your first 3 orders. Service fees and terms apply.
Alex?
What's up? I'm Chris Distefano, a.k.a. Chrissy D, a.k.a. King Gay. You're listening to the Bay Ridge Boys, History Hyenas.
What you were hearing right there is the cackles of wild hyenas, because this is the first episode of the highly touted, much anticipated History Hyenas.
Woo!
With Chris Distefano and Yannis Pappas.
Yes, that was beautiful. We love that song because we love hyenas, and so we need to have a cackle in there, and then freestyle music because Yannis is famous for creating a Latino character, and freestyle Latina, and freestyle music is basically the heartbeat of Puerto Rico.
It's a heartbeat of Puerto Rico in Brooklyn, the Bronx, and Queens.
Yes.
I don't know if it's big in Puerto Rico.
It's probably big. Freestyle music is great music.
Italians loved it too.
Italians love Puerto Ricans. That's why I got a half Puerto Rican, half Italian baby. That's what we do.
Yeah.
We have sex, we mate, we create a child, and we ruin each other's lives.
Your baby's basically freestyle music.
My baby is freestyle music.
Yeah.
And she's a fucking hyena because she eats Nutella 24/7.
Yeah, we named the podcast History Hyenas because we are obsessed with hyenas, the animal.
Yeah.
Not the cartoon from Lion King or whatever, the real thing.
The real animal of hyena because it has no lineage.
It's savage.
It's savage. Its main weapon is chaos.
Like the Joker.
And it stinks. It eats its food, its teeth, the way it eats food. A lot of animals, like a lion, will just eat flesh. What a hyena does, it eats flesh and bone. And because nobody can digest that, because you're a fucking wild maniac, if you can digest flesh and bone, its stomach can't take the content, so it throws up the food it just ate and then eats its own fucking vomit like a wild hyena. Just a wild, disgusting animal that Yannis. Every time Yannis and I look in the mirror, that's what we see.
Yeah, it's a disgusting animal, but it's also a fascinating animal.
Fascinating.
No animal represents nature as much as a hyena.
No, because it's with its own weapon being chaos, it inadvertently or maybe on purpose sacrifice somebody. A hyena dies every time they hunt because it's just 10 hyenas running around wild, and a lion will kill one of them. And then while that one's being killed, the other hyenas will jump and start eating its balls.
Yeah, they are by any means necessary. That's the way they hunt. They will hunt. They'll pursue and hunt, wear something down with chaos. They'll also overtake a lion kill by just tiring a lion down. A lion will do all the hard work, kill the animal, and then the hyenas will come in a pack of 50, cackle, dust flying everywhere. One will go in there, start biting at the lion or the lioness. The lion will kill that one, but while it's killing that other one, guess what? The other 49 are eaten.
Yeah, and it's unbelievable. If you go Google hyena videos, there's a hyena video Yannis and I found where a hyena literally has half its left ear bitten off.
Yeah.
And one of its back legs, and it's still trying to kill the lion.
Yeah.
It just will not fucking stop. And then hyenas, once you get injured that way, you get shunned from your herd.
Yeah.
And then you're just wild alone. You're just a lonely fucking hyena.
Yeah.
I think almost every hyena, if you live long enough, will get shunned from its herd.
Probably.
Yeah, and then have to do it alone.
How about that meme where the hyenas, they're trying to take down a big buffalo? There's a meme of it.
Yeah. It's not a meme. It's a video.
It's a GIF.
You're
It's a
75
GIF.
years old.
That's true.
You mix up the words.
Well, it was a video that was turned into a GIF. You can GIF it. I've GIFted to you.
Yeah, you have gifted.
I have gifted.
Gift.
GIF. Is it GIF or GIF?
I think it's GIF.
GIF.
Yeah, but when you say it sounds like you're saying gifted because you have snooze in your mouth.
I'm snoozing. I'm
yeah,
80.
it's like chewing tobacco.
Or as
you're like Ty Cobb.
Who called? I was on Brilliant Idiots podcast.
Great podcast. Shout out Andrew Schultz and Charlemagne the God.
Akash. actually,
Anakosh.
he said something funny. He called it cuck dip, which was hilarious.
Cuck dip is funny.
Cuck dip is
yeah, we love cuck. We're obsessed with the word cuck on this podcast.
It's Swedish snooze, so you don't have to spit. It's
Yeah.
it's cuck.
You do, and I've told you this before.
I'm a cuck bad.
You're a cuck bad, and I've told you you're born and raised in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Okay, so and you got that bop to you and that way too.
And if you couldn't tell, by the way, he sounds like Edith from Archie Bunker's show. He's born in Brooklyn too.
But I'm from another part of. I'm from the blue collar, working class part of Brooklyn. You're from the more affluent part of Brooklyn, like you. But so if I don't know, if I was walking past you in the streets, I would say that guy's got one of the worst cases of whistleblower face I've ever seen in my life. You look like you want to write an article shaming people bad.
And your face looks like you should be hanging off the back of a garbage truck.
Yeah, I look like the kind of guy that I come in and I fucking tell you that you got termites.
That you make six figures in life
Is nuts.
does not match your face.
It doesn't, right?
You have strong government benefits face.
I got yeah.
You are the Goodwill Hunting of Ridgewood.
Yeah, I got welfare I take the bus face bad.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. But I'm telling you, you're an anomaly. You're a bigger anomaly than me.
Why?
Because, dude, you seriously look like a feminist lesbian. When you come out, you look like all you want to do is march on DC bad.
Yeah.
That's all you want to do is march around and fucking fight for lesbians because that's what you are.
Do your friends think you're gay because you hang out with me?
Yeah, they say yeah. Well, they think I'm gay. They think I'm gay because I'm scared of the dark.
And you do comedy. You do theater.
Yeah, because and also like because I took all the union jobs, I took all the civil servant jobs, fireman, cop, I took all that, got into all of it, but because I didn't go, they think I'm a fag bad.
Yeah.
Because I pursued my dream, they're like, you take it in the ass. My friends have accused me of being gay.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry to use the word accuse. I made that's the wrong verbiage nowadays. Being gay is fine. There's no problem being gay.
Yeah.
But to my friends, there's a problem being gay.
Well,
because they're probably gay.
Yeah. To your friends, anything that's not doing what they're doing is kind of gay, right?
That's it. Yeah. Because I'm not a cop.
Voting for Hillary, gay, right?
Oh, yeah. Vote for Hillary, gay. And they told me, because I have bad anxiety, they told me that anxiety is a problem specifically for the Democrats. They said if you're a Democrat, you have anxiety. But if you're a Republican and you want to make America great again, then you won't have anxiety because you've chosen the right path.
They're not wrong about that.
No, they're not.
I never met a lot of blue collar guys that have anxiety attacks.
No, they won't. How can you? You can't.
That's a cuck problem.
You can't have an anxiety attack when you're trying to put up sheetrock.
No,
you can't do it, bro.
No.
When you're on the 80th floor.
That's right.
Can't do it.
So we started this podcast as of this moment. It started, and we started this podcast. We call it the History Hyenas. This is the first episode. History Hyenas, you might ask. Why are we calling it that? Because we love nature. We love history. We're two curious cucks.
Yeah.
And we're going to be exploring both in every episode.
Every episode. And if you're the kind of guy that you can't, like us, you can't openly talk to your friends about how you want to learn shit, then this is the podcast you listen to secretively. This is what you do. If you when you're on your break, when you're in your garbage truck or you're driving your truck route, you put this on low volume.
Yeah.
You put this on YouTube, you put the captions on, you can't let your wife know about this. And if you're a woman, you can't let your husband or your lesbian partner know about this. This is what you do.
Yeah.
Because we're guys, listen, I live my life in a way where I don't really listen to the rules. I know what I look like. I got Viking.
You are a hyena.
Yeah, I got Viking head bad. I wear Jordans to every occasion. I can't tell you the last time I haven't worn Jordans. And I don't care, but I also listen to Whitney Houston and Madonna, Material Girl.
That's not the rules. Yeah, your face and head do not match.
I don't match.
When I was at your house one time, you were showering. You had Cyndi Lauper on.
Yeah,
and you called me cute.
And I called you cute,
which is,
but yeah,
there's nothing more disgusting than hearing the word cute out of your face.
So just know that we're the kind of guys that we don't care. Like I'm an eager learner. I want to learn. I like going on history tours. I like talking to Yannis about nature. Yannis, you'll find out through the course of this podcast, Yannis will try to make everything and anything Greek and tell you that Socrates had something to do with anything. He'll tell you Socrates invented fucking iPhones. He'll tell you that.
You've been reading Socrates lately.
I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what.
Do you listen on audio or you read it?
Well, now I'm trying to read more.
Yeah.
I'm trying to actually look at the books. Like some books that you've given me, I'm actually trying to read the words because I notice on audio, I'll be listening to it, but then I'll also be on my phone while I'm driving and I'm just looking at puss on Instagram.
And you're one text in violation from losing your license.
Yeah, they told me right now if I get one more texting violation or moving violation with a handheld device, I'm getting the license taken away for 6 months, which would fuck me up bad.
Yeah. So if you don't believe that he's not a guy that listens to the rules, look at his face.
Yeah.
He's got a PhD in physical therapy.
Truth.
He texts and drives.
Yeah.
He eats Nutella by the jar.
Yeah.
He is an absolute fucking wild hyena.
But I also take my blood pressure 4 or 5 times a day because I'm convinced I'm having a stroke.
You also are convinced that you're German and you're not.
Yeah, I actually got a book called The Nazi Symbiosis. How do you say that word? Symbiosis? Symbiosis?
I guess so.
It's basically about, the book is basically about how, not that Nazis were misunderstood, because I think that's a stretch, but just how you became a Nazi.
You like their uniform style.
The uniforms were invented by Hugo Boss. That's a fact. The actual Hugo Boss invented the uniforms. And I will tell you this, I'm a patriot. I bleed red, white, and blue. Everybody knows that. Who knows me? And I can't sound like a talking sewer and not fucking want to die for this country.
Right.
But I will tell you, when I watch those World War II docs, yo, the fucking Nazis were badass.
Unis were nice, right?
Yo, unis were nice. When they came with the Blitzkrieg and the Luftwaffe, I wanted to know what that was about.
So you just feel like they had the best uniforms.
I felt like they had the best uniforms, and I felt like the Germans are organized people.
That's
we beat them. We beat them because, nothing could take down the fucking American eagle.
Right.
Nothing could take us down. We're the
Right.
Americans, true, hardened and true. But the Nazis, think about that. They're a little ass country like Germany.
Not that little.
No, but they almost took over the entire world. If they wouldn't try to invade Russia in the winter, which was Napoleon's, as we've talked about, the same mistake Napoleon made, and Hitler was a huge Napoleon fan. So, my Führer, what the fuck were you thinking? If you wouldn't have tried to, but that's what we talk about. The biggest thing that takes us down as human beings is the male ego.
Oh, yeah.
That male ego of Adolf Hitler, if he would have just had a fucking Eva Braun would have came into his life and kind of broke him, and he would have had a child just a little bit, just a month or so before he made that decision, we may be all fucking eating Hassenpfeffer right now.
Yeah.
Might be truth.
The human ego can't, it's never enough.
So, yeah, you can't. It's insatiable.
My buddy Jesse used to say there's no end to up.
No, and it's true.
It's true.
There's no end to up.
Yeah.
And that's what we want to explore here on this podcast is different things in history. If you trace anything back to history, it's always the ego. Very, very few times has ego not played a part in something, unless a woman the woman's ego was not as strong as the male ego. But pretty much every war in history.
I've met some women with some big egos.
Yeah, nowadays, but back in the day,
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I would argue, since we're not getting into anything specific this episode, but I would argue probably Queen Elizabeth, woman,
Was
probably
what?
huge ego, but probably one of the most, if not the most successful reign of an empire.
See, I don't know. You got to educate me more on Queen Elizabeth.
Well,
and that's
we're going to do that.
And that's what this podcast is going to be about, because there's a lot of things I don't know, and there's a lot of things Yannis doesn't know, and we're going to teach each other while teaching you. I'm telling you, if you're not listening to this podcast, you're a fucking liberal cuck bad.
You are bad.
Yeah, if you're not listening to this podcast, that means you fucking, I don't know what you're doing. You're protesting inside transgender bathrooms right now.
That's
bad.
what you're doing.
But
Listen.
not that there's a problem with that. I actually like the transgender bathroom. Let people do what they want to do. That's what I'm
Exactly.
about. If you want to if you think you're a woman trapped inside a man's body, or as Mauricea said, what used to be a man's body, then that's what you got to do. It's fine. The problem I have is you shoving it down my throat.
Yeah.
I love everybody that comes in front of me. I love everybody that comes in front of me.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah.
But just because I look like a guy that maybe doesn't like that doesn't mean I'm that guy.
Yeah.
Just why don't you fucking talk to me? I get tweets all the time about how I look like I'm the poster child of the alt-right. I don't like anything about the alt-right.
They ruined a perfectly good haircut.
Yeah, they ruin a perfectly good. This fucking haircut is money. It costs $75.
Yeah.
And I don't stand for. I mean, look, if they listen to the podcast, they want to pay the Patreon. Fucking throw the arms up. I don't give a shit. But
Which we're gonna have as well. We're gonna start a Patreon page.
yeah,
Also, you may know us as the Bay Ridge Boys.
Woo!
Fictional representations of us, but hey, all the same. And
Yo.
we're starting an empire right here.
Cuzzies. There have been 2 independent places in Brooklyn that have named sandwiches after us.
I mean, that's what Italians do.
That's what Italians do. Black people get sneakers, we get sandwiches. That's what it is. And we're the same. And blacks and Italians are the same. I feel like
They want to be each other.
If a black said something derogatory to me, or I said something derogatory to a black, I feel like we're brothers. We're cousins. Don't matter. But don't say something to me if you're Chinese.
Nobody's going to admit that, though.
Nobody's
going to
admit that. No.
Italians would never admit that.
If I would have said that being a black guy, if I would have said that I would have been fucking, I would have had my own special just for saying that.
Yeah,
but because I'm a white guy, people are going to be like, I fucking hate Chris Distefano.
Listen, this is the podcast for you. Also, first of all, like Chris said, you got to listen to it in secret. You don't want your friends to know that you're a down low gay, curious guy.
Yeah, you're a DLG.
You're a DLG.
Down low gay.
But also, if you're like we're not that smart. We're not great historians.
We're not great historians.
But we're going to learn.
We're going to learn.
We're going to learn.
We're qualified. Look, we have a somewhat qualified level of intelligence. I have a doctorate degree in physical therapy, and Yannis is one of the most well-read, educated people I've ever met. That's the truth. But we're also dumb fucking losers.
Absolutely.
Big time. We're dumb idiots.
Big time.
I mean, we walk around. I mean, Giannis chokes on his food every day of his life. Giannis chokes on his food every single day. And you know, and I don't know, literally, I swear to God, I'm 33 years old, I weigh 240 pounds. I have to sleep with every light in my house on because I'm genuinely scared of ghosts.
And that's not a joke.
That's not a joke.
He is scared of the dark.
Yeah. I'm a grown man with a family.
You're
scared
grown
of the dark.
Family scared of the dark.
Yeah.
You got to fix that. You have
do.
a little daughter.
I do, yeah.
Your daughter can't be like, Daddy, there's monsters under my bed, and you go like, I know, let's hide. You can't do that.
I can't, but I already do. Like, yeah, there's been a couple of times where I'm the guy, like, when, you know, there's a weird creak, you know, in the floor, like somebody knocks the door late night. I would always make the woman go up and get.
Yeah, you don't like being alone at all.
Can't do it. Nah, I can't. I got a fear of being alone.
You take friends on the road?
Yeah, I can't be alone. It starts to get real dark for me when I get alone.
What are you scared of? Do you think someone's going to attack you looking the way you look? You look like you can handle yourself.
I know, but I can't. But
you got a Viking head. You got a protruding forehead. You have Neanderthal in your DNA.
This head.
No German, but plenty of Neanderthal.
Yeah, right?
You are not German.
I'm not.
You made a video on Instagram claiming to be German, and it made me furious because I saw the results of your DNA. You are 30% a Sicilian.
Right.
And then all the rest of it came from Ireland. You are a dirty Brooklyn mutt. Italian Irish.
I'm the kind of guy.
You're the descendant of shit shovelers.
Shit bad, right?
Yeah. You make wasps nauseous.
Nauseous, right? That's what I was going to say. Like, you think any wasp listening to this podcast is disgusted by the way we talk?
They're listening to you right now, and it's almost like they're hearing mouse squeaks, like rats.
Yeah.
They look at you like, we look like two swarthy ethnic trash talking about history with New York accents.
It's gross.
You just told people that you have a PhD. Nobody believes it.
No, but I'm telling you.
Nobody believes it.
This is a true, honest to God story. My first day of physical therapy school, it's a graduate level doctorate program. I showed up. The teacher of that class, I'll never forget, it was room 501. They thought I was the janitor. They said that the electrical closet was 2 doors down and that mops, everything I needed was in there. I said, I'm a student.
Yeah.
They said, for what? I said, the physical therapy program. And she was like, show me your paper. And then I showed her and she looked at me again and she was like, all right. And then I remember I sat down. And then she was talking, like she was going over the syllabus and like things. She would look at me and talk a little slower. She would be telling and just look. She didn't think that I was really supposed to be there. But then I proved myself.
You use that to your advantage a lot, don't you?
I do.
People underestimate you all the time.
I can't tell you how.
You look like a moron.
And I let people think I'm a moron.
But you're not.
People, you know.
This podcast is almost you coming out of the closet as like a closet. You're like a closet intellectual a little bit.
Yeah.
I think you're smarter than me, actually.
No, I'm not
You always
smarter
say
than
you're
you.
not, but you are.
No.
I don't have a fucking PhD.
Yeah, but
I have a Bachelor of Arts degree, which is basically a high school diploma.
No, but you have a palpable, passionate intellect
and a cute face
and
too. No,
yeah, you're
am
cute.
I cute or no?
No, you're a cute kid.
I'm cute.
I told you you're a cutie with a booty.
Yeah.
I told you that.
Yeah, but I'm not as good looking as you though.
Nah, but it's different.
You bring out deep. Girls want to bang you bad.
But you think it's more on a primal level.
Yeah,
I
think it's primal. Yeah,
it's not like a girl wants to spend her life with you. A girl wants to just bang me out once.
Yeah,
because they think I'm just a dumb, fucking electrician. That's not the electrician. Electricians are smart guys, but they got a way about. They think I'm a union. They have a fantasy about banging a union guy.
You're like female porn.
Yeah,
like when they see you, it's like the fantasy come to life.
Yeah.
They don't want to speak to you afterwards. Yeah. Talk about history and nature coming together.
Yeah.
The reason why chicks want to bang you is historical.
Right.
Because somewhere deep in the brain, you look like a caveman that's gonna kill anything that tries to enter the cave.
Right.
Me, I'm a guy who looks like I'm gonna ask her, hey, let's team up to beat this thing.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna try to have her join me to beat whatever's trying to kill us.
Yeah.
You're gonna be like, honey, stay in here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna kill this thing with my protruding forehead.
You look like either someone going through transitional therapy, like you look like you're on hormones right now, or you're a chubby vegan. You look like one of those two.
You would be an ugly chick.
It's bad, right? Yeah. I got pictures of me as a chick.
Yeah,
We'll post them.
I think like when people see Mauricea, some people want to bang her.
I think it's funny to watch people to like be around you and see people uncover that you're Mauricea and then be let down that Mauricia's not a real person, that you are Mauricea. It's a big letdown. Yeah. It's an interesting kind of way into like the human mind where you're like, wow.
They love her that much.
People really thought that was real. And I could see how they would think that. I could see because you pull that character off so well. And
because it's the real me, according to you.
Guys, I want you to do me a favor. And I've been saying this for a long time, and I know at some point in my life I will be proven right by this. If you're not familiar with the Mauricea character, go Google Mauricea or go Google That's It. What you will see is, and I'm using quotes, Yannis portraying this character whom he's conveniently named Mauricea Rodriguez.
Why is it conveniently?
Because I think the real person that exists, that was born into this world, is in fact Mauricea Rodriguez, or Mauricio Rodriguez, as he was born in the Lower East Side of Manhattan, and Yannis Pappas is his greatest character. I think Yannis Pappas is the greatest character that Mauricea has pulled off, where everybody thinks Yannis is real, but he's created Mr. Panos, and he's created Yannis.
She's created Mr.
She's created Mr. Panos, and she's created Yannis. So right now, what you're seeing is a man, is Yannis Pappas, is a man dressed like he's robbing a bank. He looks like a man right now from Charleston, Massachusetts. You look like you want to rob.
I look like an extra in a Matt Damon movie.
Yeah,
right now.
a little bit. Yeah, with your hair swooped up.
Yeah, the fucking town, dude.
Yeah, you look like that. But I'm telling you, behind closed doors, when he goes home at night,
I put stockings on.
There's an ass pussy there. Yeah. That's what I know for a fact. And unfortunately, he's got a fiance now, and I don't think that she knows. And I've tried. It's not my place.
She thinks we're banging because we hang out a lot. We hang out hard, bad.
We hang out. That picture that she screenshot of us when you went Instagram Live.
When you said you want cock bad, you want to crawl in the sheets with me?
Yeah, and we can post that. We'll post that. Yeah, because that's like... That picture is hilarious. And yeah, she's Brittany, who's a great girl. I think you made a fantastic choice. I've told you that. I think you picked a winner. But I think that she knows deep down that she's not marrying. I think she knows she's marrying a female from the Lower East Side.
You think she does deep down?
I think she does deep down, but I think right now, I think she's already come this far.
Yeah.
And you are appearing as Greek.
Yeah.
So for her, you're a big catch.
Yeah.
And she's just gonna have to do what she's gonna have to do. And I think she's said, you know what, I'm gonna sacrifice my life for the greater good, because you can pull this character off so well.
Yeah.
Watch the movie Split.
Yeah.
If you watch the movie Split, he has 24 personalities.
Yeah.
And you're not sure which one it is.
Yeah.
But then you get a glimpse on which one the real one is. Yeah. And I've gotten a glimpse or two. At the real Mauricea, and I know for a fact
that feels more real than this, right?
This isn't you. This is an act.
Yeah. Why am I doing? Why don't I just come on, just be that all the time? Like, hello, Chris, let's do this shit.
Because I think
So we're going to be doing history. We're going to be doing nature.
Yeah.
Two things that we like to do. Yeah. Why don't I just come out?
Because I think
I'm scared of society.
Even though society has progressed so well, I think there's still a little fear in you.
Yeah.
There's still a little fear because you still are a cuck a little bit. And cucks, make no mistake.
Yeah.
Cucks appear in this day and age like they're brave. They're the most nervous, fearful people on this fucking planet.
They are
the cucks.
Yeah.
And that's what you are.
Yeah.
Yep.
People listening to this right now, you confirm constantly people's belief that you're an idiot.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
It's not just the way you look.
Yeah.
I mean, you sound like a fucking idiot.
I sound like a dummy.
You sound like a dummy. Part of me doesn't believe that you have a PhD.
Yo.
The way you don't believe that I'm really me and I'm really a transgender woman.
Yeah.
I believe I don't believe you have a PhD.
Bro, this is how dumb I am.
Right now, I was just sitting there looking at you talk, and I was like, there's no fucking way this kid sat down for 4 to 6 or 8 hours straight and studied what he needed to study to get that doctorate. I want you to bring that fucking thing in.
I'll bring it in.
I need proof at this point. Before I believed you, right this moment, there was a moment I was looking at that garbage Queen's accent, and I was going, there's no way.
Yeah.
He went, excuse me, professor, can I ask you a question? I just don't believe it's possible.
No, you can't.
And then does the tibia... You must have called it the tibia more than once.
No.
You called it the tibia.
No, it's fucking crazy that I know it's a tibia and the fibula, but yeah, there's probably times I've called it the tibia.
You might have called it the tibia a few times.
Yeah. No, because I remember there was one time just recently when we were talking all about Greek mythology and all that, I was going on a sick rant. I was talking to my pops, sick rant, and for about 10 minutes, I was calling Plato Pluto. Yeah, I was like, yo, Pluto said this, Pluto said that, and he's like, what do you mean Pluto's the planet?
Yeah.
I was like, no, Plato, my bad.
You pretend that you're not a nerd bad, but you are a nerd bad. You spend most of your time in your apartment when you're alone watching documentaries, reading audiobooks, curious. You always ask questions.
But I can't do that because if I do...
You can't do that around your friends.
Because where I come from, I can't do that. If I'm not talking about the Steam Fitters Union, they don't want to hear what I'm have to say.
If you didn't grow up in Ridgewood, you think you would be a cuck bad?
If I didn't grow up...
You might be a protester.
If I didn't grow up in Ridgewood...
You might be the leader of the protesters.
If I didn't have the parents I had, which are just pure... I mean, my mother's a beautiful person. Dad's a great guy, but they're pure New York trash. Like just pure... like they'll be like, they call me Christopher. They think I'm a sweet kid. you know, blah 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 blah. If I had just a little bit of intellectual parents like you did, I think I'd be hitting those streets hard.
You would be.
Yeah,
You'd be carrying a sign.
Yep, I think I'd be the one out there telling you that there is a problem with a poo.
You'd be calling Ted Alexandro to tell him where the march is.
I would, I would. You know how because Ted Alexandro, great comic,
protests a lot.
Great friend of ours. I mean,
great guy.
The Zuccotti Park protests. That 1% protest, which went on, say, for about 2 months. I mean, he was still protesting in Zuccotti Park last week. That shit was 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about it. Ted's just, let me tell you something.
He backs up what he says.
Ted is not a cuck.
Yeah.
Ted is a protester because he believes what he believes, and I'm telling you, Ted will hurt you.
Yeah, he's from Queens.
Yeah, Ted's no joke.
He used to be a music teacher. He used to teach the recorder.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And he's a fucking true blue Mets fan.
Yeah.
Yo, Ted's fucking. I would never fight Ted.
Well, the thing about
there's nothing fake about Ted.
Yeah, a lot of people protest and they just say this stuff, but they won't go out and hit the streets and back it up.
Ted'll hit. Yo,
Ted will stop traffic.
Yo, Ted was out there looking dirty. I mean, I remember he would show up fucking filthy, dirt under his fingernails. He didn't give a shit.
Yeah.
Ted's a hyena. Ted might be a little bit of an intellectual hyena.
I don't know.
You know what's another beautiful
You're
thing?
a hyena. I'm a hyena for sure. Ted, no.
You know what's
We'd
another?
have to find another animal for Ted.
You know what's another great thing about hyenas is they're one of the only animals in the animal kingdom where the matriarch, the woman, is the actual head of the society.
Yeah.
And it's not a male-dominated tribe.
No, which
it's
is wild.
The female, which
considering
is wild.
how savage they are. Like you said before, they eat the whole animal because they have one of the strongest jaws of any animal, and they're not even that big of an animal.
No,
that's how savage this thing
They're a little
is.
bit bigger than a dog, a little bit bigger than a Rottweiler.
Yeah, and their jaws crush bone. Turn it into powder. They will eat you whole.
A pit bull can't crush your bone.
And they constantly eat people.
Them and pigs. Pigs eat all the bone. That's why the mafia used to throw bodies to the pigs.
Yeah.
Because they eat all the evidence.
That's because they're greedy fucks. They'll eat everything.
Yeah.
Pigs will just eat.
They're disgusting.
They're disgusting.
Yeah.
But hyenas are savage.
I kind of stopped eating bacon. We're talking a little about nature. I stopped eating bacon and a lot of pork products because pigs are so smart. They know what's happening to them. And it kind of made me feel a little grossed out for eating them.
You know, that's how much we're on the same page. I've done the same
Really?
thing. And we've never even talked about it.
Never even talked about that.
I feel bad, yeah. They used to, but pigs are greedy, though. Pigs are greedy. That's why they used to use pigs as truffle dogs in Italy. Right. Traditionally, it was always pigs because truffles are very valuable. They're hard to find, and they would use pigs, but the pigs would eat the truffles a lot of times. Yeah. So the truffles that they would get would be like the leftover, whatever the pig didn't eat at first. Now they use dogs. Yeah. Because the dogs don't eat the truffles.
In Italian, we call an animal like that a gavone.
A gavone.
That's a gavone.
Yeah.
It just eats it all.
Yeah.
And you know what's what I like too? What was I going to say? I was going to say something.
You know, it's interesting. The truffle dogs are so valuable in Italy that they kidnap them. They have to have armed guards. They have to have armed guards.
Really?
When the dogs when they go out on their truffle hunts, there's like guys with machine guns protecting the dogs. Because the truffles are so expensive. If you get one of those dogs who can help you find those truffles, it's worth a lot.
And I kind of like, as I've gotten older and like thought about stuff and questioned stuff a little bit more, like these societal norms that we're just kind of under the spell of, like, why do we drink cow's milk? What is it about the cow?
Jeez.
Why don't we drink? Yeah, but why don't we drink? Why isn't goat milk more prevalent? Why when I show a picture of a dog, a cat, a pig, a cow, children will say I would only eat the pig or the cow. All the meat in it's the same.
Cultural.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Because in Greece they do. It's all.
What animals?
Goat milk. All goat's milk. There's no cows. Only recently did they.
So when you go to a supermarket,
feta cheese,
in Greece,
cuz
it's all feta. Which I used to be adamant about. I hate goat cheese. I think it's repulsive. And then one time Yannis saw me order feta cheese, and he was like, it's goat cheese, right? I didn't know.
You didn't know.
And this whole time I've been talking shit about goats, and meanwhile I've been eating their cheese.
And you liked it until you found out what it was.
Yeah.
So that just tells you how much of it is cultural. Like, if you grew up in China, who knows what you would have been eating? Dogs, probably. Yeah. Or Korea, they eat dogs, and you would have thought nothing was wrong with it.
Nothing was wrong with it.
You'd be eating insects and think nothing's wrong with it. There's this guy, this gourmet chef I just saw the other day. He opened up a taco spot.
Who, Wolfgang Kuck?
No, he was Asian, though. An Asian gourmet chef, and he makes tacos with crickets, and it's like a delicacy from where he's from. It's all cultural. It's all cultural and what's available to you.
And people love it?
Well, he loves it. I don't know. You know these cucks. We're just going to use cuck a lot.
Cuck. Yeah, and keep in mind.
Hipsters
like
love that stuff.
Yeah.
So they're probably that restaurant's probably full of hipsters eating crickets.
And they love it. And here's the thing with cucks, because I know some people that say, "Oh, cucks, it's just a legal way to say."
It's a hilarious word.
It's not. We don't use it that way. Because I would never. If you're a cuck, it's because what I think. First of all, the word cuckold. Shakespeare created cuckold in Othello.
Wait, didn't we read today that it was something? It comes from.
Well, it comes from the cuckoo bird.
The cuckoo bird.
But I think Shakespeare.
You just learned something. See,
But
first
the reason,
podcast.
because cuckoo birds will lay eggs into another bird's nest. They'll put their eggs there and just kind of mix them all up, and that's why Shakespeare took that word and it derived from there because.
So he created it from that.
Exactly, because he said, and what a cuckold basically is you're a man that's okay with another man coming and having sex with your wife. Now, cuckold porn is somebody banging your wife in front of you, which is like that's a whole nother generation of cuckolding. But originally, it was just you're okay if your wife cheats on you because you're not like a manly man back then. So when I call somebody a cuck, it's really just all I'm saying is that you're a pussy.
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying is
it's
you're
really
a pussy.
Yeah.
That's what I'm just calling you. It's just another word for me to call pussy. I'm not calling you.
Well, faggot means pussy too. It
all
doesn't mean gay.
I would never.
If somebody calls me a Greek faggot, it probably means you're pussy. You know?
Pussy. Yeah, I would. And by the way,
so cuck is kind of like.
And
a new
I would
word for faggot,
never.
But it doesn't mean gay.
Yeah, and I just feel like I've had enough of the generalizations in an individualistic society. It's like I would never call one of my friends who's gay a faggot in a derogatory way. I would never do that to them, ever.
Right.
My friends who I know for a fact are straight, I would call them a fag left and right.
Right.
And when you try to take that away and say, no, what you're doing is you're just taking away comedy. Because what you and I have discussed before, everything in comedy now, they want us to say what's right, but the definition of comedy, as you said, Yannis, is saying what's wrong.
Exactly.
And that's what makes it funny.
Yeah.
So that's why this kind of like assault on freedom of speech is ridiculous to me, because then it just confuses the younger generation.
And it's counterproductive.
It's the reason why Donald Trump is president. All the people that stood up and was like, no, you have to say this. It's like, well, that's why you just made the man you hate the leader of the free world.
Yeah, and
you did that. Because you're a cuck.
You can't ban words. It gives them even more power when you ban them.
And I just hate people who are followers, who you're just going to go to some fucking, Thai vegan restaurant because you just want to go there. Mm-hmm. Like because somebody told you to go there. You're like, I'm just going to go and I just feel like this is what I need to do. It's like, no, why don't you go there because you want to go there? Yeah. You can't.
Well, some of them do,
and I got nothing against Thai food. I fucking love Thai food.
Someone may just want to try, vegetarian.
That's fine. I've wanted to try something, but I've done it because I've come up with that. Like, I just want to try it.
And then you went right back to chicken cutlets and burgers.
Then I go right back to fucking
because you bleed red, white, and blue.
That's what I do.
That's what
I respect the Thai people.
Yeah,
but unfortunately,
at the end of the day, you're an American.
At the end of the day, if I can't put ketchup on it, I don't want it. No, I'm kidding. But that's the issue that I have with the way the world is right now. Like I'm watching.
Yeah, when we call someone a faggot, it's probably because you're at your friend puts on cologne or something.
That's
you're like,
it.
Why, you faggot? He's faggot. He's got cologne on.
Yeah, it's because you told you. I'll call you a faggot because you told your wife you loved her.
Yeah, or if you're a vegetarian, you're a faggot.
Yeah, you're.
It does not mean you're gay. It means you're vegetarian.
That's all it means. Yeah. But it's like but a big part of today's society, especially the youth, can't understand that.
Right.
And they just have no what worries me the most about the youth is you can't have a conversation with them. If you don't agree with them, then you are wrong.
Right.
And if you're not saying exactly what they want and need you to say, then you're a bad person. I did a comedy show at a college a few months ago, and this kid wrote an article about me, which I said was fine, and he bashed my comedy, saying that I was offensive, which nobody has ever in a live show, an adult has never told me I'm an offensive comic.
You're not. Your comedy's not offensive.
I don't take that route. I talk all about my family and my life, but whatever. But the biggest problem I had is he said in this article, and the biggest travesty of all was not once in a whole hour-long sermon, he called my comedy, in an hour-long sermon to the kids of Emerson University did he mention his white privilege. Wow. And it's like, what in what world, if I have a joke about that, fine, but why would I need to mention that?
Yeah.
But because I didn't, he wrote me, he thinks I'm a bad person.
Right.
Because I'm not mentioning.
What does that mean? What is your white privilege? You didn't grow up with money.
I didn't grow up. You're
a Hall of Fame Division III basketball player. You earned every one of those points.
I grew up with a father who was in prison, a dilapidated house in Ridgewood, my mother, father, working class people, and I got a scholarship to play basketball. On paper, I'm black. So it's like, what white privilege did I grow up with? Yeah. I grew up getting harassed by the police. I'm not saying as much as some of my black or Latino friends because I truly don't know. But because I was one of the only white faces in a black and Latino neighborhood, more often than not, I was questioned by the police because they're like, what are you doing here? You buying drugs?
Yeah, and that kid probably doesn't even have a black friend.
Yeah, exactly.
Who wrote that article.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Yeah.
But there's a problem that we got going on, and I'm telling you
and we're gonna
what this
fix it with
podcast
this
is about is we're trying to fucking right the wrongs and crush cucks. If you want to crush cucks, you need to listen to us, okay? Because we're good people. We put funny and talent first. That's what's first.
You heard it from your Führer right there.
From your funny and talent. Listen, if you're a fucking, listen to me. If you're a gay Chinese Eskimo and you're funny, you're going to be on the show.
Yeah.
But if you're just a gay and Chinese Eskimo, you're not going to be on the show unless you're talented and funny. And you'll see the people we bring on, if we choose to bring on, are going to be an array of diversity of cultures, religions, races, because they're funny and talented. That's what it's going to be. You're going to see it's never going to be 4 or 5 white people, 4 or 5 black people, 4 or 5 women in a row, because we have so many friends from all different walks of life that are just, we know how to seek out the funny and the talent. And that's what we're putting first. And you'll see that this podcast, you're going to laugh a lot because you're like, oh, this is just funny. I'm not just listening to someone because, they're fucking half fucking
because
Japanese.
they feel guilty about giving them an opportunity or a chance.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll get some historians on here too.
I would love to get a historian on.
Some
Dude,
biologists would be great.
Hopefully, if you guys, and listen, we only are as good as our fans. And by the way, thank you so much for watching the Bay Ridge Boys and really being a huge part of every sandwich that gets named after us. It's because you named it. You caused that. We're not doing that on the fans. You guys are by far
our goal 10 sandwiches.
10 sandwiches.
We got 2. We got 8 more to go.
Yes, we got 2 more. We got 8 more sandwiches, and then we'll be fucking golden.
Then we made it.
But the goal, seriously, is we want to get like real, and the only way we do it is by you guys pushing us, because really, without you push us. You fucking push us. We want to get like Neil deGrasse Tyson on this thing. Yeah. We want to get like hot people, top of society people, Elon Musk. I want to get fucking Obama on this thing.
Yeah.
I want to get
Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Bill Nye the Science Guy. I mean, that's what we want to get to. We want to just ask and be as dumb as we are. Just around them. And just because the thing is, Yannis and I, when we ask a question, it's not because I'm not trying to play a dumb character. This is not a character, okay? I'm genuinely interested in what people who are way smarter than me have to say, and I'm genuinely interested in kind of getting inside their minds, and I ask questions from a place that's pure. I truly want to know. And I don't care if you think I'm stupid. I was always the kid that I would ask a question, even if somebody would laugh at me. Like, they would be like, why would you ask that question? It's like, because I don't fucking know.
Right.
And I want to know. And guess what? Because God graced me with having huge shoulders and a Viking head, I'll ask the question. And if you ask me one more time why I ask the question, I'm going to beat your fucking face in. And that's just the truth of it all. And that's how I kind of was able to move forward. Because, like, I want to ask questions.
That's how you were able to move around on this planet.
Move around on this planet. Because I want to ask questions because I'm a true gay. I'm a true hardened gay. I'm in the closet right now, but I'm coming out bad. I'm going to come swinging out. Yeah. But because I was blessed with a little size. Yeah. Nobody could ever make me feel bad about myself because they knew if they cross it just one more line, I'm still Queen's trash. I'm still a hefty bag with a heartbeat. Yeah. There's no way around that. You know? Yeah. I'm human garbage.
A lot of people pretend like they know more than they do. We're not going to do that. We're going to find out.
No. I got no problem with being wrong. I'm genuinely, and I know Yannis says we are genuinely curious people. Mm-hmm. So if we say something wrong on this podcast, no hesitation tweeting it at us, telling us this was wrong. We would love for you to, because I don't think we're going to go through the fact-checking thing. We're just going to look up stuff. We're going to have what we think is the answer and tell you about it. And if you tell us it's wrong, then we'll believe it.
We're going to explore history. Yeah. We're going to explore nature. We're going to talk about it. We're going to joke about it. Yeah. We're going to get to the bottom of what this world's about.
We're going to try.
We're going to try to get to the bottom.
And then listen, who knows? If we do find that answer, if we do, and hopefully it takes a long time, but if we do eventually find that answer, you listen to the very last podcast we'll do. We're going to do it with a gun in our mouth, and we're going to blow our fucking heads off right at the end.
Because the world's ending anyway.
Yeah, it's kind of like just, it's over. And that's what, like we were talking about, like I'm Catholic and I got a lot of guilt, and kind of like Yannis has opened my eyes to like what other religions think, and like Jews kind of have it right in the sense that when you're done, you're done.
Yeah.
Right? Which
I think nobody nailed it like the Buddhists, though.
Yeah, you think Buddhists?
Yeah, because like, the Buddha was like, look, life is tragic. You just have to accept it and then find peace. Yeah. I think at the heart of it, that's what it is. We're going to, you know what? I have a theory, and we're going to explore a lot of things in this podcast, but what I really am curious about, I want to know if we could actually figure out if psychopaths dictate history.
I could. I think you have a theory that 100 people roughly 100 people change the world.
Yeah, because they say like 1 out of 100 people are psychopaths. Psychopaths always rise to the top. They're always interested in being in positions of power, and they love destruction.
Right.
So that could really be the motor behind history and humankind.
We're going to talk deep, too, about the frontal lobe. The frontal lobe of our fucking brains is basically what separates us from being a wild hyena that will just eat will eat a baby. The only thing that keeps from that is the frontal lobe, and you'll see 9 times out of 10 when a serial killer or a psychopath is caught and they're given lobotomy or
doesn't light up.
Doesn't light up.
Yeah.
The frontal lobe is just when they dissect those brains, the frontal lobe is dead. The tissue's dead. So really the only thing that keeps us from being wild, savage animals is the frontal lobe, the neocortex, the new part of the brain.
That's right.
It's wild.
Doesn't light up, man.
Does not light up.
And those people are always highly motivated.
Highly motivated. Emotionless.
They're like human predators. They're like reptiles.
Yeah.
So I bet you a lot of those people who ended up becoming like dictators or movers of history, who forced people to fix situations, they're the ones that fucked it up because they were psychopaths. Yep. I guarantee you that.
You'll see. I guarantee you, if you did a CAT scan of, if you ever found Hitler's body, you did a CAT scan of his brain, if it happened, around the time of his death, you would see that frontal lobe ain't lit up.
There's no way it could have been.
There's no way it was lit up. And then they say he had micropenia. They say that's a fact.
Really?
That Hitler's penis was not. I'm not talking about like, oh, you got a little dick. I'm talking about an actual clinical condition, micropenia, where your penis is so small.
It looks like a clit.
It looks like a clit, and you can't. That's why they said he had no children. Because he couldn't. He claims
couldn't even fit in there.
He claims because he wanted to focus on the Reich.
Right.
But the truth probably behind that is, if micropenia is true, because who knows, maybe that's fucking more Jew propaganda. No, I'm kidding. No, not Jew propaganda. No, but maybe the micropenia. I don't know if that's true. I mean, who knows? The winners write the history books, right? So they could have written that just to fuck with him. But if that is true, then we talked about in the beginning of this podcast the fragility of the male ego. If you have micropenia, that could make you want to exterminate 6 million people. Why he pinned it on the Jews? Who knows? But it could have been, this whole thing could have been avoided if he just had a normal sized penis, if that's in fact truth. That's
a thing though, right? Some people are born with just tiny baby dicks.
I mean, dude,
what's the evolutionary reason for that?
When I was a physical therapist, I treated a patient who was a true hermaphrodite.
Wow.
True hermaphrodite.
Really?
Yeah, he had a baby, she had a baby penis, but the vagina was the organ that overtook. But a lot of times when you're a hermaphrodite, yes, there are plenty of cases of people who are just hermaphrodite, and it's just they have both organs. But a lot of times when you're a hermaphrodite, it's a chromosomal issue. So they're blind, they have different disorders. It's a huge problem. A lot of hermaphrodites are actually vegetables. They can't, well, you're not vegetables, but they're wheelchair bound. They have a host of other conditions. I worked a lot with those kids. And you used to be a social worker, Yannis, so we've both seen some shit.
We've seen some shit.
You've seen some
I've never
shit.
seen a hermaphrodite though.
Yeah, I saw one. It was wild. And the guy, my boss at the time, he was a funny guy, but he was a dick. He didn't tell me he was a hermaphrodite. And he was like, make sure you do a hip check on them, and that you have to take down their pants. But it was and then I pulled it out. I was like, I wasn't prepared for it. When you're just expecting to see a vagina and you see a penis too, it's fucking nuts.
So what's the vagina? It's behind the balls.
The penis was like, you could see it was like beginning to form. So it kind of just looks like it was like it was just a penis. There was no ball. Oh, there was one ball. And it was like right under the vagina. You could get a surgery to get that removed, but a lot of times these people, maybe they don't have the money for it, and insurance won't pay for it, which is fucking savage.
Yeah.
That they won't pay for that. They say that's cosmetic.
Yeah.
Wow. It's wild.
So they have both hormones running through their body too. That's confusing.
Well,
no?
It depends. Everybody's different. Like, it depends at what point in the gestational period when you were developing inside the womb, when the X or Y chromosome started to take over. Wow. So it's like there's more advanced, it's all different.
Nature is wild. Nature is wild.
And we're going to explore big time on this.
Nature is wild.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of variations in nature.
Yeah.
Hermaphrodites, people who have Down syndrome.
Yeah.
All types of things happen in that chromosome mix-up.
Cuzzies, the DNA, if you look at the DNA,
it's like code.
If you look at it like a code, and let's just say, I don't know the complexities of it. It's a hard thing to understand, but what I do know is that our DNA, like as a human being, say DNA, say for a human, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? And the 6 and the 7 is what makes us humans. A pig's DNA is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9, 10. So it's just we have the same DNA as every single thing on this planet, but it's only in different strands of it. So does the littlest change, just the micro change, can make us a human or can make us a fucking snow pea? Isn't that fucking wild?
It is wild.
That's wild. So if you are out there believing that you were created by anything else other than matter, and if you don't think that we're fucking a simulation, I don't know who the fuck you are.
So when Elon Musk says that he thinks we're probably a simulation,
So does Stephen Hawking's.
and Stephen Hawking does too.
Yeah.
That's the reason pretty much behind it, right? Is when you look at DNA, it's very similar to coding. It is a code.
Elon Musk says we are computers.
Yeah.
That's why even the words that we've just used through time, when you say, I'm not hardwired that way, my system's shutting down.
Right.
The reason why he said you're using those words is because it's what you are.
Yeah.
You don't know that it's what you are, but it is in fact what you are.
Yeah.
And can anybody ever prove it? Probably not. Just like, do you know what happens after you die? No.
Well, we're going to prove it. We're going to figure
We're
it
gonna
out.
prove
We'll
it.
figure that out on this podcast.
Yeah,
We'll figure out how psychopaths have influenced
Yeah, 'cause-
history. We'll get to the bottom of nature.
You never know what's going to happen.
You never know what's
Our
going to
sound
happen.
engineer looks like he's in fucking ISIS.
Yeah.
Looks like he's fucking a recruit.
He looks like he's undercover as a New Yorker, but we know who he's working for.
But we know who you are.
Yeah, that's
fucking
right.
Muhammad.
We're going to talk history. We're going to talk nature and how they intersect. They often do intersect.
They big time.
And a lot of times in history, what's overlooked a lot is how man has used nature against each other for their own betterment.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And we'll tell you all about it.
Horses were like the only way people got around to like 100 years ago or like
Just a
200
horse.
years ago.
Nature. If the Russian winter of 1944 wasn't the worst winter in Russian history, the fucking Nazis would have taken Russia and we would have lost, and you would all be eating fucking Hassenpfeffer.
Yeah.
Do you understand that?
Chris
Nature.
wants to be German. They would have forced you to say you were German.
Yeah.
You would be speaking German.
You think with the kind of look I have, though, I would have been up in the ranks with Hitler, right?
You would have moved up fast.
Yeah, I would have liked my.
You would have moved
This
up
is
fast.
what he liked.
Yeah, and
He likes
instead of
his
playing
luck.
D3, you would have played D1 because they would only be allowed white people to play basketball.
Yeah.
They would have got rid of everybody else. So you would have actually been a D1 player. I mean, it wouldn't have been as great to watch, but nobody would have known any better.
Yeah.
Because it would have been all white basketball.
I played Division III, which is white basketball.
Which is pretty much white basketball.
That's reserved for the whites.
But in the Reich, if Hitler had his way, you could have been like you could have been like the best basketball player to come out of Ridgewood. Because they wouldn't have allowed anybody else.
Cuzzies, what I want to tell you, first of all, I think this was a great first episode.
Yeah, I mean, we are gonna crush cucks too. We're doing history, we're doing nature, but as Chris's rant told you at the beginning of this episode, we will crush cucks.
Make no mistake about it. We will be drinking the blood. We will be drinking fucking gluten plus beer out of the skulls of cucks.
And who are cucks? Phony fucking cucks.
Phony.
That's what they are.
Phony. If there's somebody you're working with, you're like, I don't believe a word this motherfucker says, and he's always bitching and needs to say what's right all the time because he's a fucking insecure cuck. He's a cuck.
Yeah, that's right.
We're gonna get. Listen, it's just the first episode. We're gonna come with a better definition of cucks because right now, I think we are just using it as an alternative for fags, but we'll get better at it. We'll get better.
That's right. So
Yeah.
This is the first. I guess this you call the pilot episode.
This is the pilot episode.
This is the first episode.
Yeah.
So from here on in, it is going to be a wild adventure.
Yeah.
Of history, nature, and cuck crushing.
And tell your friends to get on our Patreon page. That's the way to get the podcast.
Oh, yeah. Look, you don't need Hollywood anymore. And if you support us, and if you like our content, you've been watching Bay Ridge Boys, you can donate directly to us.
Because what you're supporting when you give us $1, $5, whatever you need to give, what you're supporting is two people who are trying to preserve your right of freedom of speech. We're trying to just preserve amendments here. I'm fucking Chrissy amendments, baby.
Yeah.
I'm trying to preserve what George Washington wanted. I've been watching this documentary, this show on Netflix called Turn. It's about the espionage of and how dope General George Washington was with spies and how we beat the fucking mighty British Army, which is no small feat. I know France sent their entire army, but still, the red, white, and blue, the fucking Green Mountain Boys, Nathan Hale, heroes. If we let these cucks take our freedom of speech away, which is what they're trying to do.
Who was the cucks back then?
Who were the cucks back then? Loyalists.
Loyalists
fucking cucks. You want to stay loyal to the crown so you can sell money to fucking redcoats, you fucking cuck fags.
It's funny, there was always cucks in every era, right?
We
will identify the cucks of every era.
It's so easily identifiable when you look back in history who the fucking cucks are.
King Cuck? Benedict Arnold. No?
Benedict Arnold was King Cuck because not only, listen, first of all, people say Benedict Arnold was misunderstood. No, he was not. Okay? Yes, I understand that he didn't get his severance pay and he didn't get paid for 3 years of war and he didn't move up and people moved past him. No, the Continental Congress had no money. Okay? The British flooded the entire country with counterfeit money and the Continental Congress didn't know about it until it was too late. So George Washington didn't get paid for 5 years, okay? So Benedict Arnold he was court-martialed and then they could have fucking hung him and George Washington said, know what, we'll just give you a reprimand. That was his penalty, a reprimand. So it's nothing. It's fucking not even a slap on the wrist, just the word reprimand. Go back and fight for us. He said, nope, because you didn't pay me. Nobody else was getting paid, but because you didn't pay me, now I'm going to go be a fucking major in the red coat in the Loyalist Army. You know why? Because you are a fucking cuck, sir.
He was the cuck,
and you deserve, unfortunately, to go down as a hated man because you put coin ahead of country, and you are the C in cuck when you do that.
They were men back then, though, right? On principles,
big time men.
Yeah,
yeah.
A guy who had a pride, he would go like, "No, hang me."
Major John Andre, his famous figure. In the Revolutionary War, got caught behind enemy lines, spy. Back then he was a major, so back then you could trade. If I had one of your guys, you could trade. So okay, give me 5 soldiers and I'll give you your major back. Major John Andre, Major John Andre. That was his name in the British Army and the Redcoats. He said to George Washington, because the trade was going to go through. He received a letter. George Washington received a letter. No problem. We're going to get 5 of our soldiers back. We'll give you Major John Andre. Good. He said, no. The rules of war are I was caught behind enemy lines as an enemy spy. You must hang me. Wow. He actually wanted to get death by firing squad because hanging was for spies. Firing squad was for noble soldiers. He wanted firing squad, but George Washington said, if we're not going to give you up, though, we're going to have to treat you as a spy. And he said, so be it. Then hang me.
Wow.
That was a fucking real man.
That was a real man.
Real man.
Almost
now, fucking, you guys are taking your fucking scooters to Canada to get out of war.
Yeah.
All right. I don't want to fight in war either. I'm a fucking cuck. You know what the irony of this whole thing is? I'm the biggest fucking cuck of all time. I drank a green tea today and fucking watched, and
a smoothie.
And a smoothie.
But that's because you need to drink smoothies. You got diabetes bad.
I got diabetes. Yeah.
You got pre-diabetes.
I got pre-diabetes, but I'm working on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So your story is like you did grow up in Ridgewood. You did play basketball.
Yeah.
You did get a scholarship. You do have diabetes.
Yeah.
Your story is really the black story.
Black story, yeah. So look, and the truth is, and I will be honest with you, the truth is we talk a lot of shit, and thank you for listening, but we both are cucks. I mean, you just heard me, Giannis jerks off to C-SPAN, like he's a cuck,
You are Obi-Wan Cucknobi.
I am Obi-Wan Cucknobi, yes, and you are fucking a cucky charm if I've ever seen one. All right, guys, thank you for listening.
That's the first episode. We're going to tell you more about the Patreon page. You're going to follow this journey on History Hyenas with Distefano and Yannis Pappas. That was a good cackle.
Thank you. Thanks for listening to episode 1. Episode 2, we're going to go crazy and talk about the Vikings.
And what they used in their warfare.
Biological warfare. They were the first group of people to ever do that. We're going to tell you exactly how. They went fucking berserk. That's a word that they created.